Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Obviously John is not with me, and that is because in today's video I'm going to be doing a girl chat or girl talks video, and it's a series I've been wanting to do for a really long time, but I was always just nervous to. But I talked to John about it and he said I should do it, so that's what we're gonna do. We love a supportive husband. But basically, if you don't know what these videos are, it's basically where I just do a regular sit-down video and answering some questions other girls may have or advice, whatever it is. It's just supposed to feel personal and like you're just on a coffee date with your best friends or your sisters, whoever you're closest to, and just having those regular conversations you would have with them. And so I just hope that this series is a place where other girls can feel safe and where they can just come to with no judgments, and yeah, and that's what I hope for. So before we get into it, get comfortable, get your beverage, coffee, tea, whatever you drink. And yeah, I'm just gonna answer some questions that you guys had asked, and if you want to submit questions for future videos, make sure to follow me on Instagram. And yeah, also a lot of the questions or a lot of my answers are going to be faith-based because that's just the foundation of my life and that's just what I believe. And it's not to say that if you're not a Christian you can't watch this video. I'm not saying that at all. Everyone is more than welcome to watch, and I just hope that it's still helpful, that everyone's still able to gain something from this video. Okay, so first question I got was, what did you guys do to save for a house and the wedding? So we actually answered this question, like all things wedding and house, in our most recent video, so I'll have that link below if you haven't watched it yet. But there's one thing I did leave out that I'll mention here. So one of the main things too for saving, or how we saved, was I did like a lot of research and I had a lot of help with my finances with my family, and them helping me talk to like financial advisors and stuff, just to kind of see what kind of accounts would work for me to put my money in to help grow faster. Because if you leave your money in a savings account and you're very familiar with finances, a savings account does not make you anything. So I knew I needed to find like other accounts to help make it grow, help my money grow. And so yeah, I would highly recommend, if you're very disciplined with money, like you won't touch it, you won't need it for long periods of time, I recommend setting up a meeting with your financial advisor from your bank, and they'll go over all the best options for your situation and like your finances, what to put it in, and help you grow that money. Okay, so the sun did move, so the lighting is gonna probably like be all off throughout this video. I'm sorry about that. But next thing was testimony / how you came to Christ. So if you know me and my testimony, it's very long. But so I don't think we'll have enough time for me to share my whole testimony in one video with the rest of the questions, so I will keep it short, and maybe I'll do a separate video explaining my whole testimony if you guys want. But to put it fairly short, so I grew up in a Christian household, but we didn't actively go to church or anything like that. We just knew who Jesus was. And it wasn't until my dad had passed away, when I was 7, that we went to this church, and it's where we held his funeral. And for as long as I can remember is we've been attending the church ever since. But again, like, my relationship with him wasn't very serious. Also went to the school there. I started going to the school there because it was a church and a private school. So I went to school there starting in 6th grade, but it wasn't until my junior year. I was in my junior year, so the whole time I'm there I didn't really have a serious relationship with God. Like, I was just caught up in a lot of drama and things I shouldn't have been. It's my cat. But yeah, just not in like the best place. It wasn't until my junior year when I left the school, but I was still going to the church. Just left the school, I was homeschooled now, and that was the same year my mom had passed away. So I lost both my parents, and after losing my mom, it kind of hit me like, I don't know, like not in a hard way, which I feel like in the place I was at, I feel like I should have, like, you would expected for me to even go like more downhill, I guess. But it was the total opposite. Once I lost my mom, it was like totally eye-opening to me, and like I just really was at a low that I knew I needed Jesus. Like I needed the relationship with him. I knew I needed to draw near to him. And so that's kind of when my faith really started growing, and I started taking my relationship with the Lord more serious. So yeah, ever since then, I've been living life for Jesus. And yeah. How long did wedding planning take? So me and John had a 10-month engagement, but the actual planning didn't take that long. It took us, I'd say, about like 7 to 8 months to actually like plan everything. So yeah, about 7-8 months. Things you and John did to help wait. So the number one thing I'd say is to set boundaries, but also respect those boundaries. I feel like it's so easy for us to set boundaries, but in the end, it's really your control if you're gonna like follow them or not. Because you can set up all these boundaries and then you're just not gonna follow them. Like our flesh wants what it wants, and it's really hard to fight that sometimes. So just being respectful of both the other person's boundaries and yours. I feel like too, when we set up boundaries, it's so easy for our flesh to be like, well, how close can I get to the line before I'm considered crossing the line, you know? So having that mentality of not thinking how close can you get to that line before crossing it, but just run away from that line. Just go as far away from it as possible. Don't even think of how close you can get without, you know, like crossing that boundary. Also, I heard this quote from, I'm not sure if you know them, but they're a Christian YouTube couple on YouTube. Their names are Tori and Chad Masters. I highly recommend watching all their like advice videos. They do such a good job like hitting all the right points, what I'm trying to say. But I remember Tori, she had said something, I don't remember her exact words, but I remember her saying something along the lines of like, you know, we think, oh, I love this person so much, I just want to show them in this way. But instead we should flip our mindset to be like, you know, I love this person and I respect them so much that I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna choose to not cause me and this person to sin against God. I just love that because, you know, when you are falling into temptation and into that sin, you're also causing that other person to sin against God. And that like breaks my heart when I think of it that way. And like, even though it's so convicting, I feel like it's also a good thing. Conviction can be a good thing. You're able to recognize that you're in the wrong and kind of pull you back like, okay, wait, like I am not gonna cause you to sin against the Lord, and I don't want that for us. So just keeping that mindset can really help you a long way. And I also want to add too, like I am so glad John and I were able to wait until marriage. Like, guys, it's such a special moment, and it should be a special moment between you and your husband. Like, it's such a uniting thing. So just holding on to that is was encouragement the most, like while we were waiting. Like we both desired the same thing. We both desired to wait until marriage because we knew that's how what God had designed it to be. Sex was designed to be done in marriage and as husband and wife. And there's a reason for that. And like our wedding night was so special because it's what we've waited for so long. Like, not to say like we were perfect in waiting, like it was hard. It's hard for anyone who's trying to wait. Like the enemy's gonna do everything in his power to get you in bed with your partner before marriage. But just know, like, it's gonna be such a special moment between you and your spouse when you wait. Like, I am so glad we did. So just hold on to that. Like your wedding day is gonna be so special, and it's how God designed it to be. How are you able to keep God as strong in your life with a partner? So to put it simply, if you are with the right person, the person God intended you to be with, they will draw you closer to the Lord and not away. Because if you're both running towards Jesus and wanting to honor him and glorify him in your relationship, it's going to bring you two closer together as well. I've seen this image before. It was like Jesus in the center and then you and then your spouse. And it was like if you're both running towards Jesus, you're also going to be bring you two closer together as well. And I just loved that. But yeah, when you do that, when you're both chasing after the Lord's heart, just keeping him in the center, it will lead to a God-honoring and fruitful relationship. Just personally, the closest I feel to John is when we're both drawing near to the Lord, and we always encourage each other to put God first and to keep him our priority. So I would just leave you with this question. Is the person you're with pushing you towards Jesus or pushing you away? The best date you've ever been on. So this is really hard because I have a lot of dates me and John gone on that I loved. And it's so hard because it's like being together for 4 years. We've gone on many dates, so I start to forget. But I'd say the best date was probably the 2 times we went to Disneyland. We went to Disneyland for my 19th birthday, pretty sure, yeah. And then we just went this past month, and those times are so fun. Whenever we go to Disneyland, I feel like it's so fun. It really is magical, and we just have the best time together. So yeah, I'd say anytime we go to Disneyland, honestly. How to keep a strong faith during repetitive trials. This is a great question. So I like to think of trials as an opportunity for your faith to grow. You know, the enemy is going to do anything and everything to keep you away from the truth and to make you feel so miserable in everything you're going through, to make you doubt God and all this terrible stuff. You know, what is it that we are turning to when we are going through trials? Is our first instinct to lean on the Lord, or is it to doubt him and question him? I feel like it could be so easy for us to question God when we go through trials, especially if they're so repetitive. We might say, why God? Or why me? Like, I don't understand why I'm going through this. But if we really think about it, like, how blessed are we that it's not our job to know and understand the things we go through. Like, God already takes care of it, and his plans are far greater than our own. I feel like we all do this. I've definitely done this as well. But I think we can all easily say without hesitation, like, yeah, I have faith, like, all this talk. But then as soon as we get hit with a trial, it's like we don't even know what to do. We get so anxious, so stressed, and like so doubtful, and we're like again, like, why God? But guys, God has literally provided us with a blueprint of how to live this life and how to face the trials we go through. And I left my Bible in our car and John's at work, but that blueprint is the Bible if you didn't catch that on already. It has literally given us everything we need to live this life. And like I said, the enemy's gonna do everything to keep us away from that truth, because he doesn't want us to have the answers and to succeed and to have faith. He wants us to struggle. He wants to watch us doubt God and question him. Again, I say to just see your trials as an opportunity and just a time for you to put your faith into action. So I actually had a girl DM me separately, and she said, last year around summer, I got out of a 2-year relationship, and since then it has been tough for me. I've been fighting my own battles in my head. When I got my heart broken, I felt alone. Every night I cried and prayed to God that he'll take this pain away. I always felt like the pain and suffering is still there. I try speaking to my family or friends, but I don't seem to find the right answer. I want to be happy, but most of the times I'd be falling apart all over again. I feel like I need something more than just an answer, but I don't know what it is. So one, I just want to thank you for being so open and transparent and just being willing to share that. And two, I am so sorry that you are going through this right now. Heartbreaks are not fun. Everyone who has been through a heartbreak knows that it is not fun. When we pray to God to take away pain and suffering, but we still feel it there, it's mostly because we haven't truly let go of it. I feel like we can all ask God to, take this pain away, take the suffering away. Like, I don't want to feel this anymore. And he is so quick to do that and to care for us. Like, he wants us to be cared for, and he wants us to experience the fullness of this life and experience joy and all that. But if we're still holding on even a little bit, we're almost like not allowing him to do that. Like, we put it on ourselves, and you never realize like you've been holding on to such pain and suffering until you're out of that suffering. We look back at it, and like, even myself, I'm able to look back at some situations and be like, why was I holding on to something that was hurting me so bad? And it's just our stubborn flesh. So when we come to the Lord, we have to come to him fully surrendered, and that's the only way we're really going to heal. When we lift up the things we're asking him to take from us, we can't hold on to any of it. We have to fully lift it up to him and say, Lord, this is yours. I give it up to you. Like, I trust you to take care of it, and he will. He'll take care of it. He's a God of his word, and he keeps his promises. So it's all us. We have to truly learn to let go of certain things in order for us to heal and move on. I would truly seek him for that joy, because that is the only place you're going to find joy, is in our God. And also surround yourself with good community and fellowship. And I'm so glad to hear that you have been talking with family and friends and that you're able to have that kind of community. Just make sure that whatever they're pouring back into you is of the Lord, because you can be surrounded by so many people who love you and genuinely care for you, but sometimes not everyone's advice is going to line up with the word. So always make sure that the people you're seeking advice from is going to be encouragement in that. And again, we have the Bible. God has provided us all what we need in there, and we can find the best advice in there. Okay, so the last question for this video is, how do you stay so positive, and how do you get through tough moments with yourself and John? So I would actually consider myself a pretty positive person. And I think a big part of that has to do with having the joy of the Lord, like we were talking about earlier. But yeah, I know time is short, and I know that my whole purpose for being here on this earth is to honor and glorify our God. And I feel like, serving him and living my life accordingly to his will, it makes me positive. Like, it brings me joy. And then another part, a big part to answer this is, I am who he says I am. You know that song? Like, I'm not gonna sing it. But if you know what song I'm talking about, then you know. But and the only way for me to know that is by knowing who God is. He is the God of love. He's Prince of Peace, he's worthy, he's righteous, like all these things. So if I'm sitting here with a negative mindset saying, oh, I'm not beautiful, I'm not enough, like I'm worthless, all these things, then am I really believing who God is? You know, it's the word says we are made in the image of God. And none of those things are who God is. So that's not who I am. So I feel like a big part of that is just knowing who God is, and just again, like knowing that's who you are as well. Like God did not give you a spirit of fear. You know, he didn't make you worthless. You are the total opposite. You are all these positive things. He says you are beautiful, you are a daughter of the king. Like we are his children, like of a king. It's just having that mindset like really makes you positive. And then how do you get through tough moments with yourself and John? So I'd say the number one thing for John and I is just being quick to forgive. And this could be so hard. You never realize how hard this is until I feel like you are in a relationship and you know you get into these arguments and it's not so easy to, you know, forgive. So, but yeah, being quick to forgive, it means you need to put your pride away, because how easy is it for us to like want to be right and not be the first one to apologize or whatever the things. But in the end, it's like, do we really need to be fighting about this? Like, just like these little things, it just really makes you think like this is not worth it. Like it's not worth sitting here in silence or anyone's feelings getting hurt over nothing or something so small. And yeah, I just think good communication skills and just being quick to forgive really helps us get through our trials and arguments. And yeah, so those are all the questions. I hope they were helpful for some, if not all. And yeah, I really enjoyed making this video, and there will definitely be more in the future. So if you have questions or advice or whatever you want to share, make sure to follow me on Instagram. It will be linked down below, and that's where you can submit your questions. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, remember to like and subscribe for more videos. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.